angels online. The angels online. The angels, the angels, the angels online.
Good people, good people. 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 What's going on, y'all? This Angels Online. We got the single parent episode in here. That's episode 4 of the Angels Online, season 2. We got a lot of guests in the building. If y'all ain't realized who we got in here, we gonna go around the table. We gonna start with my right over here. We got Sable. Sable, what's up? How you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
You gotta talk in that mic, Sable. It ain't gonna bite you. You got to talk in that
Hello,
mic now.
How are you doing?
Girl, I tell you, I do it to you. I do it to you. We got Anton over there, all right?
Hey, what's up now? It's another great day in paradise.
There it is. We got Malachi.
Hello.
Terrell.
We got Terrell in the building.
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, he got a voice. Then we got over the phone, y'all calling in. We got Corey. Corey, where you calling in from?
I'm calling in from Quincy, Illinois. How y'all doing?
Quincy,
people?
Illinois in the building. We got Dante. Dante, where you calling in from?
Today I'm in Chicago, Illinois.
Okay, today you in Chicago. He said today I'm in Chicago. Hey, that's something that I say, because I travel. Today I'm in Chicago. This weekend I'll be in Memphis. Then I'm going to be in Birmingham. Okay, we doing it. All right, y'all, we got the single parent episode. We going to get to it. Of course, everybody knows everybody's circumstances are different. Everyone's circumstances vary. But we all know life circumstances hit us in all different ways. We have a lot of kids who grew up in a household with parents who are just by themselves. We have parents who are raising kids by themselves. We got all type of situations. So today you'll get a variation of each, and these individuals will share their stories, talk to you about it, so you can recognize and understand the circumstances and different phases of life. So we're going to start. First thing we're going to ask is, starting with Sable, can you share your story with us as what circumstances led to your experience as a single parent?
I can say nobody ever really plans to be a single parent. It was more of just, if you know that you want better, you're going to do better, and you do not want your child to grow up like that, you're going to step out of your comfort zone and you're going to do what's right.
Okay, so in your situation, the best decision was for you to be a single parent.
Yeah.
Okay. Malachi, so how old are you, Malachi?
15. I am 15 years old.
15 years old, which means you're not a parent, which means your parent is a single parent.
Yes.
Is it mom or dad?
Mom.
Your mom is a single mother. Okay, thank you so much. Your circumstances will be a little bit different. We're gonna come back to you. Terrell, you were a single parent or a child?
Single father.
Single father?
Yes.
Of how many?
3.
Single father of 3. Can you tell us what circumstances led to the experience?
Yes, I joined the military, got married, and what ended up happening was during my tour in the military, my wife decided that she wanted to live her own life and party and do all the things that young people wanted to do, and I took upon the responsibility of raising my kids. And the military offered me the opportunity to either stay in the military and give my kids up, or get out of the military and raise my kids. And I chose to raise my family, and it's been rewarding ever since. It's a struggle. Mm-hmm. Being a parent is not always being popular, but it's a job. As parents, we have a job we have to do, and it's not always the most popular job to do.
Awesome. Thank you. Dante, can you share your story with us and what circumstances led to you to be a single parent or a child of a single parent? Which one?
Yes, I'm actually a child of a single parent, as
Okay.
I don't have my own children. Just a little bit different. My mom had issues. Her personal situation wasn't conducive to her raising children. Luckily, I had a father who stepped up to take the responsibility full head on and they benefited me greatly in a lot of ways. I mean, turned out a lot better because of it.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Corey, can you share your story with us as to what circumstances led to your experience as a single parent or child or both?
I am actually both. I
Oh,
was raised by my mother. My father, he was actually incarcerated when I was younger. He ended up doing 14 years, so he didn't come out of jail until I was 14. My mother raised me, my brother, and my little sister. Fast forward now, um, 20, almost 20 years, I say 15 years, and now I was, now I'm raising a child um, by myself. So some of the things that I experienced when I was growing up is something that I don't want my son to ever have to experience. Not necessarily see my father would have been there if he could have been there.
okay.
So let's first clear that up. But like a lot of the things that happened when I met my son's mom, Emily, I was 26 at the time. She was 20. Before I had my son, I lived a fast life in the streets, doing a lot of things that everybody was doing around me. So I was essentially just a product of my environment, if you will. But I met Emily. Then, like with a lot of people, you don't actually plan to have children, but we did find out that we was pregnant. I chose to stop living the life I was living. I chose to go get me a good job and like take on the responsibilities that parenting entails.
That's what I'm talking about. And we got one more. Anton, tell us what led to your circumstances and your experience of being a single child or single father.
So yes, I was a single child. I was raised by only my mother, so I grew up in that lifestyle. Don't get me wrong, I always knew who my father was, but there was never that connection made there. So as far as a single child, I definitely can say I was 100%. Now being a single parent, that was not the game plan at all. Phew, I was actually married to my ex-wife, and we of course did the parenting together for the most part. After a number of different challenges, we got divorced and separated, and it came down to doing what was best for the children. I would consider myself the more quote unquote stable parent, and because I had a more stable lifestyle and position, I ended up taking a lot of responsibility just to make sure that the children had everything that they needed and stuff like that. And don't get me wrong, now I have a great co-parenting relationship, and it's a little more balanced now for the most part. But yeah, so that's what got me into single parenthood.
And that was a question that was actually the next question. Are you in touch with their mother? And do you guys share responsibilities? And we'll stay with you since you're there.
Cool, I kick it right back off. So me and I actually have two mothers. My sons all have the same mother, and my daughter actually has a separate mother. Me and my son's mother have an amazing relationship. We are great friends. It was clear it was just a relationship that didn't work out, but right now, great friendship. We work together with pretty much everything. Neither one of us make a decision without the other.
Okay.
Me and my daughter's mother, on the other hand, went through a lot of trials and tribulations consistently. It got to the point to where I had to actually take her to court to get to even see my child. And from there, it went to speak of the devil. From there, it went to
Colin.
Me gaining full custody of my daughter. Actually, this happened earlier this year, to where now my daughter's with me every single day. And it's just because, like I said, all the different trials and tribulations that we ended up going through, again, being denied custody and things of that nature, that put it to where now I have full custody of my daughter. So no matter what, she's with me every day, and her brother's with me every other week.
How old are you? How many you have?
I have 4 total.
Oh, 3 boys and 1 girl.
Yep.
Okay. Sable, what about you? Are you still in touch?
Yes, we do still talk. Alexis probably talk, but that's my daughter. She talked to him more. I keep it cordial because I feel like I'm not going to down the other parent or anything in front of that child. I will let her see and build her relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But otherwise than that, we do talk. It's not every day or anything like that. It's mainly about the child.
Okay. What about you, Mr. Terrell?
What exactly are you asking me again?
You're in touch with the other parent. Did they ever come around and help? Did you?
Yeah, the woman I was married to when I was in the military, she left. We hadn't seen her in like 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a combination of my family and my mom, dad, brothers. And I failed to mention, I came from a two-parent household that was very stable.
Uh-huh.
And becoming a single parent was very different. And there were a lot of things I had to adjust to, but it took a village.
Okay.
But the mother of my children, she just disappeared, and we found her most recently. I don't necessarily know whether I should describe what we found,
Right.
but if anyone's ever seen Antoine Fisher at the end of the movie when
Oh,
he
wow.
finally found his mother,
Oh,
that's
oh.
pretty much what we found.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, shoot. Okay. I seen that movie.
Yeah.
I know that. I know. I'm calling people. I done seen that movie. Yeah. Woo. All right. So Corey, what about you? Do you guys share responsibilities? Are you full custody? You head on? What's up?
Now look, I'm just go ahead and tell y'all this parenting shit. I'm sorry, Angel.
You all right? Come on. Talk to us.
Look, hey, this parenting, it's not no easy task, and I'm gonna let you know. When you have a child with somebody, first off, you need to know who you having a child with. You need to.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Because some people might not heard it because we got so many exciting exciting ad-libs over here. This man said it's not an easy task. He said when you have a child, you need to make sure you know who you're having a child with.
And I'll elaborate on that.
Come on.
First off, I love my son's mom to the end of this world. Like, I'll go links for her. She gave me the biggest blessing of my life. She gave me my son. He's 3 years old.
Uh-huh.
But I will say this. When we had our son, we had only been together 8, 9 months. We found out she was pregnant. Now, only two things gonna happen. Y'all either gonna figure out who y'all are, like during the pregnancy, during all 3 trimesters. Y'all either gonna grow to love each other, and that is what happened. But after that, it's so much stuff that goes into having a baby. Like, so much, it is going to apply a lot of pressure to your relationship. Now, understand this: if you're not a strong person, if y'all ain't if y'all ain't got the basics down, if y'all ain't fundamentally compatible, it's gonna test all of that. Like, she was a stay-at-home mom. I'm working 12 hours a day at the factory. Like, one thing I did learn, pros and cons of being having a single mother. My dad wasn't present. My mom stepped up. She raised all 3 of us. None of us kids ever went without anything we needed. Now, let me elaborate. Sometimes we didn't get the shit we wanted, but we never went without anything that we needed. So I know deep down inside that's imprinted on my DNA. At the end of the day, I have to work. I have a child I need to take care of him. He can't take care of himself.
Okay.
Now, in a nutshell, yes, me and Emily do still speak. We are still on speaking terms. In 2020, I became the custodial parent of my son. A lot of the Angel's whole side of the family didn't know none of this. Like, all of this is newly surfacing, but there is no truth without transparency, and lead a life where you have to want to motivate and influence somebody. I'm sitting here on this podcast, like, letting y'all into my life because I know it's somebody that's going through the same thing right now, and they feeling alienated. They feeling like nobody else is going through this shit. Nobody else deals with being a single parent. Like, nobody deals with that pressure. So they feeling lost right now. Hey, you not lost, little buddy. You really not. Everybody goes through this when you have a child. Some of the things that happened early off in our relationship, like I said, I was working 12 hours a day. In a nutshell, my son's mom did what she did to lead up to me taking custody of my child. Now, I say that's for a different episode, but I say once again, it's one of the topics that need to be brought up. And what's happening is these young parents are getting this pressure and the responsibility of taking care of these kids. And if you ain't prepared mentally for that, then you will look for other avenues. Um, and maybe you are dibble and dabble in the wrong shit. Like you,
Right. Oh, that'll be.
right,
I know what topic you're referring to. That'll be later down the line. I got you. I got you.
But like I said, I love my son's mom dearly. I don't try to knock anybody, and I'll never knock her. Like she's a beautiful person. She just has to deal with her own problems, and she's dealing with her own problems now. But for a long chunk of time there, it was all on me. I had to teach this little boy to crawl. I taught this little boy how to walk, and for me to do that, before I had my son, I never changed a diaper. Like the most pivotal times of my son's growing up in the first 3 years, I was the only parent present. And understanding that that's a lot. It's a lot. But yes, she is. We still are communicating. She's doing what she needs to do right now. She's taking care of her business. I'm very proud of her. She wants to be present in my son's life. And I feel like at the end of the day, that's the ultimate goal is to raise these kids the best you can, man. And sometimes your support system needs to be solid. Like for a long time there, it was me and my mom taking care of my son. Like I'd go to work, but I'm with this man. I'm working 12 hours, and then I got 12 hours with him. I got 4 hours to sleep. The rest of the day, I'm dedicated to. He don't sleep. There is no. And hey, I say that again. Like there ain't no sleep when you have a child.
We got a story.
Understand that it ain't no sleep when you have a kid.
hold on, Corey. Hold up. As I gotta ask Dante. Dante, you were a child of a single parent. Are you in touch with both parents or just your father?
You know, Angel, my mom was very present in my life. I mean, though I was raised with my dad, mom was always around. You know, I always knew what she was doing. I always saw her and everything. You know, in 2019, she actually passed away. But you know, the good thing is, like, you know, she never stopped trying to like better herself in the situation that caused her to like not be able to raise us. So she tried really hard. Those last few years, she was very present. Almost to like she was trying to make up the time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when I tell the story, when people ask me, I always say I was very close to my mom, even though it was based solely on those last 2 or 3 years. You know what I'm saying? So she gets credit for that. And that's my personal experience, but my professional experience is I know how that could be opposite for a lot of people, how, you know, it can go into resentment and dislike and, you know, all the psychological issues, which I'm sure is for another episode, the effects of being raised by a single parent. You know, no matter how good the parent is, the existing and functioning parent is, there's always going to be issues for their child by not having the other spouse or the other parent in the picture. So there was some stuff I had to get through, even after she passed away, that I had to, you know, I had to seek counseling for. Even though I am a psychologist, I had to still seek counseling for those unresolved issues that I faced and didn't even know about, because I did have my mom around. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I mean, my dad was very effective. I mean, you know him. He's very functioning. I mean, he's very present. He's, you know, he's a great dad. But I still had issues, though, because my mom wasn't there.
Got you. We're going to revert over to Malachi. You're being raised by your mother.
Yes.
How is, at the age of 15, what is your childhood experience with your mother and without a father present?
I mean, there are times where I think I can do better without him, and then there are times where I feel like I do need a father figure because I feel like sometimes I need that toughness.
Yep.
And my mom, she can give me that toughness. You already know how she is. But it's like when matter of fact, I probably, in 5th grade, I did get bullied. And I felt like I needed a father figure to help me through that. Because it was a very my mentality had changed in that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I mean, my mom, she's at work all the time. I just don't know how to respond to this or tell her this.
Mm-hmm.
I eventually did, but nothing really helped after that.
Mm-hmm.
It was just me battling my class.
Got you. So you don't have a really existing relationship with your father right now?
Well, no, he reached out to me, and we're talking now. A few weeks ago, I went to his house, and then on last Thanksgiving, I went to his house again. And I still need to ask him, because I know he's probably just going to say this didn't work out.
You got questions, huh?
Yeah, I just want to know, why did you leave? What was the purpose? And then he didn't even call me on my birthday for quite some time.
Years? When you say, you mean years?
Yeah, years. Pretty much. And I just don't understand why now.
Right. So being with your mom, you're there with the struggles, and as a single parent,
Yeah.
what's some of the things that you guys, as a single parent and you being 15, that you've went through?
Yeah.
What are some of the things?
I mean, we moved to California from St. Louis, and it's a struggle out there, because I mean, obviously gas prices are rising. It's more expensive over there, and my mom only asks for child support just to pay for my dental bills, and he doesn't even do that. But that's the only thing we ask for, and he just doesn't help out. He doesn't really help out at all. And I mean, he has another child right now. She's 4 years old, and he's more involved in my sister's life. And I have two sisters. He's more involved in her life and the daughter he has now. And I'm not saying I feel jealous, but I got cheated. That's all.
I feel you.
Yeah.
You know, Angel, and that speaks to, I don't mean to cut you off, but that speaks
No, you're
to,
doing. That's what I need. That's what I need. Let's do it.
I remember feeling all those ways, Angel. I remember feeling all those things that he's feeling. I remember being very familiar and very aware of the stuff that I was missing, and the questions that I needed answers to. I remember all those things, man. I remember all of it, and you know, I mean, I have advice. I don't know if it's the time for that, but
we gonna have time for all of that. We got episodes. My dad was in prison till I was 15.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I look just like his ass. He can't deny me. But that's my boy. When he got out, I was right over there, seen him, and he's been around. You know, didn't have much or whatever. But you know, shoot, when you know you just like somebody, it's like you can't deny. You know, he did whatever he could do. That's my boy to this day. You know, he was in prison. You know, circumstances happened in the 80s. You know, so but I know, because my mom had got remarried and things of that nature, when he got out, I was like, well, I don't need him. He wasn't here. Yeah, I'm doing fine. I'm playing sports. I get good grades. National Honor Society. Junior Honor Society. Well, shoot. What? And my mom was like, she's the one that actually convinced me. My sister was like, yeah, I'm gonna talk to her. I was like, okay. And right after that, I just seen so many similarities. A lot of why I was and what I would do things and whatever. It all just came to light. I'm like, what the world? I'm like, I'm just like this man. The way I walk, the way I talk, the way I eat, just working out, athletic ability. I'm just like, oh man, short, you know. So, and he's just the nicest person, you know what I'm saying? So, but I had questions, and I sometimes it took, because I had friends who had those great fathers. You know, when you see parents with 2-family household, you're like, damn, I wish I had that. Dang, I wish, you know, man, that's kind of tight. So you kind of push yourself towards those type of families, because that's the type of love that you want to be around, that you want to see. But don't get me wrong, we didn't miss nothing in my house. You know, we was living the dream. Sports, game to game, everything my mom did. She handled her business, and my stepdads they did whatever, you know, whether I need to practice with my left hand or whatever. And at the age of 13 and 12, you know, I had it. So I feel you.
Yeah, I can.
If I could just chime in just briefly.
Make it brief, that Corey, because you ready to have a whole episode.
Brief. saying, my man, he said he was 15. He said he experiencing this stuff right now. I know those emotions. Like I said, I didn't see my dad till I was damn near 15. That's going to school like you gonna resent authority. Eventually, if not, you haven't felt it already. You gonna feel as if your mom's not doing enough. If she's, and I mean present, like she's not present. If she's working, I know she's taking care of what she needs to take care of as far as a parenting role. But a mom can't teach a son how to be a man, and she just can't. And you're gonna have to find it in yourself. You may not get those questions answered, and you got to be okay with that. You got to know moving forward that you are not your dad, buddy. Like, you can do anything that you want to put your mind to. You can do any of that. Like, and if you got to get those answers, then reach out, ask him. Like, I lost my dad less than a year after he came home, so there's still questions that I've never got answered. But I'll tell you, like my man said, he's the psychologist. Like, if you don't try to find the answers that you're looking for now, or that you feel like you'll need answered from your dad, it will affect you down. And I'll just hop off with that. But I do, like, you got this, bro. You in school, you 15, you got your whole life ahead of you. Don't let an experience that you think like nobody can relate to, don't let that, don't keep that weight on your shoulders, because you can be great with or without that man.
Man, look here. Absolutely, man. You know, I wish this was a podcast because I can talk all day. But you know what I'm saying?
Hey, we do it every week, baby. We out here. The Angels Online, voice of the unheard. I'm here to listen, because you got to get the people what they want.
What the young man just said is absolute, man. I mean, it just takes me back. I got here because of everything he just said, the resentment for authority, because I didn't have my mom. Even though my dad was very there, he's very present, I felt like I was going to create the life where I didn't need nobody, where I didn't put nobody in position to leave me again, right? So right. I did that through education. I'm like, I'm going to go to school, I'm going to graduate, then I'm going to go back, then graduate again, then I'm going to go back, graduate again, give me a good job where I can make a lot of money, where I can take care of myself and don't need nobody else. That way I ain't got to worry about nobody else leaving me. I ain't got to worry about having somebody in my life one day and not the next. It resulted good in some ways, but it didn't solve the problem, right? It didn't solve the problem.
Come on.
You got to get the answers, man, because the answers is at the baseline and the foundation of who you are. And you can leave those cracks unfilled, my man. You know what I'm saying? You need to, even if you can't get the, and this is important, and I tell my clients this, even if you can't get the answers from the source, seek first to understand, and then to whoever provides the information, make sure they understand you by the time the end of the conversation is done. So seek to understand, then seek to be understood.
Come on.
That it's off your chest, because you need to just get it. You need to release those things off you, even if you can't get it from the source. The person who you want to hear it can't hear it. Somebody needs to hear it so that it's no longer on your chest, so it's not weighing you down. You're not walking around that baggage. You're not putting up that fence. You know what I'm saying? You just need to get it off you. That needs to happen, and sooner than later, my man. Because you don't want to get 30. You don't want to get 25 trying to solve those childhood traumas, because you're going to be trying to solve them with somebody else. You're going to have to work through their baggage as well, my man. So do it, girl. I don't want to go too deep into it.
Hold on, Corey. Because you know what the Angels Online is about. Juvenile awareness. You got to get it now, before you 30, 35, 40 years old. Hold on one second. I know Anton wanted to say something, but Terrell wanted to say something. Hold on. Go ahead, Anton.
No, I was just going to definitely chime in. Hearing you tell your story and how you feeling about your father and having those thoughts and things of that nature, it reminded me, like, it almost triggered me to a moment when I first realized that I was going through something like that. It was, we were away in Florida. I was with my basketball coaches, and I was kind of sheltered by one of my coaches particularly, and I didn't understand why. I was already super intelligent, but I was book smart. I wasn't street smart. So I didn't see what was going on, and he let it slip out his mouth that the coaches had been talking about me, and they realized that I needed a father figure. Because I looked up to them so much, and I was like trying to get answers from them, and I would ask them about so much. It was because I didn't know. That was probably the most pivotal point in my entire life, because that's when I realized, like, yeah, I know my father. Like, I could tell you my father's address, I could tell you his phone number, I could tell you where he was at. I couldn't tell you nothing else about him. I couldn't tell you, there was no connection there. So I could completely relate and understand that 100%. And a lot of the times we have to as men step up and be those figures. So, like my guy on the phone was saying, you might actually have to find that energy from a different person and stuff like that. It's just you have to be now intelligent enough to diversely understand what they're saying and who you're talking to, making sure this is somebody who the path that they've chosen for life might be a path that you might want to choose one day or something like that. And just be careful with the father figure choices that you choose because that could turn you wrong. Because I went multiple directions in my life. There were times I was doing stuff in the streets. There was times I was doing stuff in school. But because I was following different figures until I matured to the point to where I understood life at that point. Once I got to that point, I could make my own decisions. I became that man of my own. But in the meantime, while you're going through that process, even with your current father, look at the type of man who he is. Because some of the things he may say, it may not hold water. Like right now, I tell a lot of people, I don't listen to my parents no more. Because nothing they say, they're not connected to the real world anymore. Well, not the real world. They're not connected to the world anymore. They're not connected to the stuff that you would be going through right now. I'm barely connected to you. I'm only 20 years older than you. But I'm still disconnected from what's going on in high school today. So if it's somebody who's not actively in your life, it may be tough. But pay attention to those examples. Is the best advice I can give you because those examples will start to mold you in a way that you don't even understand psychologically.
Terrell, come on, talk to me.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to chime in on what Dante and Corey said. You know, deciding who you ended up laying down with and having a child with is a big decision. Hindsight being 2020, I'm sure there are several characteristics that you would look at now versus then. Second of all, I want to let you guys know on this panel, Malachi is my grandson.
Boom.
And I have been a role model in his life for as long as I can remember. Because I feel like since his father has not stepped up, I have to step up and show him how to be a man. It kind of takes you back to the movie Boys in the Hood when Angela Bassett dropped Corey off and said, I can only take him so far. And Lawrence Fishburne said, go rake them leaves and don't look at me like you're crazy. Men, you have to step up. But let's talk about, I kind of want to shift gears for a minute.
Go ahead.
Because we all know that being a parent is a challenge. It is necessary. But on the same token, I used to go to school and sit in the back of my kids' classrooms. I went to all the events that they were involved in. I was a very proud parent of watching basketball games, watching football games.
Track meets.
Plays, all that stuff. You know, there is a reward for your hard work, and we have to put light on that too because it's just not all the struggle. And when it comes down to it, you do it because you love your kids. And love goes a long way. That's something I learned later in the, I guess, second chapter of Parenthood, that love goes a long way, and that will affect your kids moving forward. But like I said, being a parent is not a popular job by any means. And don't forget that when it comes to doing things that are necessary that your kids don't always agree with, because we know better. You know, they too young to lie to us, and they too young to trick us. We all know what life is going to be about later on down the road. So let's keep that in mind as well. I just kind of need to add that in there.
No, that's good. Look, you're moving ahead of me, but I like it. 'Cause we got it, man. I love this open conversation because that's what we're about, and everybody's feeding off everybody's energy. And although it's all different circumstances, Sable, let's go to you as a single mother. Let's revert to you as a single. What's your greatest challenge?
I have a very, very strong support system. So I never really had to struggle with anything because if I had to go to work, go to school, I could always count on one of my sisters, my brother, my dad. Somebody was going to end up watching my baby for me. But like I never really had that struggle. I probably doubted myself more than what my family would have, only because sometimes I'll just sit down and I'll be like, dang, I wonder if I'm missing out on something. Like, if she gonna be mad if I can't afford this, afford that. It was something going around up on Facebook about like, ask your child, what can you do? What do they think that you could do better to be a better parent? Alexis at the time was only 5 or 6 years old, and I asked her that. She was like, well, you can't do nothing because you're the best mommy there is right now for me. You're my only mommy, and I love you. And that really struck a nerve with me, because I'm like, And a parent can down themselves from their child because they'll feel like I'm not doing the best that I can. But in the eyes of somebody that's looking up to you, you are doing everything that they want you to do, and you should not like ever doubt yourself with something like that. So back to your question, I can't really say that I really struggle because I always had people. Even you, when you was over, I'd be like, Rhonda, I'm finna go run somewhere right quick. Watch Alexis for me.
Babysit
You
me.
be like, oh, okay, all right. Her and Alexis be sitting right there up in the living room up until I came back. And like my parents, they always instilled that with us too because they was always around. And even like we just never wanted for anything. Even if we didn't need it, they'll be like, well, y'all don't need that. Now, we'll be mad for a day, but we'll be like, oh, okay, we not missing out on nothing. So it doesn't really matter if we had that or not. It was just stuff that we probably wanted because we seen somebody else with it. You know what I'm saying? So like
that's a lot that's going on like today. You know, so you grew up in a double household, mom and dad present.
Yeah.
So and that's a lot of the problems today because if you don't tell kids that, they don't understand it. So by like you saying that out loud, like you won't keep up with the Joneses. You know what I'm saying? Just because you can't get it, you get mad at your parents because you can't get it because everybody else got it. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, I didn't miss out on nothing. If we couldn't get it, we couldn't afford it. We just couldn't afford it. You know what I'm saying? But I knew for a fact that when I grew up, I was gonna try to do everything I could to get what I couldn't get. You know what I mean? I didn't miss out. I ain't missed no meal. You know?
Well, also when you finally grew up and was able to get it, it was like this
I don't
is no
even
big
need
deal.
it.
Yeah.
You look at it, you like these days, everybody want to shop at, want some Jordans. Everybody want this. Everybody want that. Let me go to Walmart and grab this T-shirt real quick. Yeah, we finna go to this beach. We going to Walmart. Back then, you know, what nowadays kids look at Walmart and be like, well, what, they shop at Walmart. Shoot, I shop at Walmart. I shop at Target. It ain't Target, it's Target. What's wrong with y'all? I go to Ross before I go to the Nike store. The same item at Ross and Marshalls, ain't it? I mean, come on now. But a lot of kids, they don't be understanding it, and that's a lot of stuff that needs to be talked about, and that leads to, you know, what the next episode will be about bullying. You know what I mean? And that's what it all stems from something. There's a root cause analysis when you find stuff or whatever. That's why I say let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Oh my God. So how do you balance family time and work? And Malachi, you can chime in as well because we'll start with you. What do you do right now?
Family time.
Talk to that mic, man. It ain't gonna bite you. I promise you ain't gonna move.
Family time and work. Okay, so when my mom goes to work, I usually I'm not into any sports right now, but I am trying to get into business after summer and try to get into football. And
But wait a minute. Hold on. Let me help you out. Hey, Terrell, I'm gonna help him out, right?
Right.
Sir, you're an aspiring actor, okay? Can somebody make some noise? This young man was on a Super Bowl commercial. What do you mean? You done lost your mind, man. You got to give the people what they want.
alright.
Come on, man.
Hey, don't hold that in.
You want a whole Super Bowl McDonald's commercial.
I'm wondering what the heck's going on.
Wait a minute. You had a Zoom call with Spike Lee.
Yes.
Y'all heard it? Hey, don't be shy, baby. Don't be shy. Tell them what you work and balance. How do you balance it? Your mom works a lot, but you do. What do you do? Because I've been to LA to come visit you. I've seen how we balance it and make it work.
Well, if I have to do any auditions at late, I just get to it. I always run my lines.
I practiced them lines with you one time.
Yeah.
Till I fell asleep. Whew.
I know it was late, huh? I have to do that a lot, and I love it. I want it to be my profession when I grow up, and I just want to. It's not. I mean, yeah, people get paid for it, but it's something where I get to challenge myself and find something new that I can rise that's in me.
Right.
Because I feel potential.
There you
and
go.
People tell me all the time I have potential.
Affirmations.
And I just I wanna be something great in this family.
That's what I'm. Boy, I tell you, you better show us what you got. How old are you again?
15.
Remind the people. Tell them again.
I'm 15 years old.
And you are a well-spoken young man. I want you to know that. Well-spoken.
He doesn't have much choice.
I know. Hey, look. I know that's right. How did you balance, Mr.
Who, me?
Terrell? Yeah. What was your profession? What did you do?
I'm a city firefighter, but before then I did a little
Public
bit
servant.
of everything to make my. Hold on.
Oh, we jamming. We getting phone calls. Don't worry, baby. It's normal life. Normal life.
I don't know if you can call it a balancing act. It's just really more about making your priorities a priority. Spending your money where it needs to go.
Come on.
Spending quality time with your family, and trying to balance your personal life as well, because you got to have that. Because if you don't have that, you're gonna go crazy.
Yes.
And choosing the right people to expose your kids to. So it's a matter of just growing up real quick. And to anyone out here that doesn't have children, you better listen to all this, because when you have kids, your life changes immediately.
Drastically.
So balancing is just a matter of making sure that your priorities are fulfilled. Go to work, take care of your family, and find time for yourself so you can balance out your sanity, and just keep working toward doing better and wanting better for your children. That's the main thing for me, because all parents are basically wise, because we've made mistakes and we're trying to help our kids not make those same mistakes. So, it's a struggle, but it's worth it in the long run when you see your kids grow up and graduate and get out on their own. So, in terms of balancing, it's just making sure your priorities are priorities, and not to succumb to distractions, because there's plenty of them out there.
Yep.
Plenty of them out there. So that would be my best answer for that question.
Awesome. Anton, how do you work-life balance? How do you do that with the kids and everything?
I don't even lie to you. I fail every day.
Yeah.
I fail every day.
Come on,
One
man.
aspect
Talk to
or
us.
another.
Talk to us.
I think back to the first time having the kid, me thinking like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna have this type of kid. And my oldest son, a lot of people don't know, is autistic. So every hope and dream that I had for my son, it went out the door. So now it was just, there was nothing. It was literally a blank sheet of paper. And since that time, even till this day, it's just like, we're going to try again today. We're going to try again and be better today. I still have these hopes and dreams, but I have to balance that to who my son really is as a person. And all my children, just who they are as people. I have 4 different personalities I have to deal with.
Yes.
I realized, I learned so much more about myself trying to make things work with them of that nature. Don't get me wrong, my son's mom is a great support, so she helps with the balance anytime I have to go away. I'm still actively in the military, in the Army Reserves, so I go away quite often. So there'll be times where I got to go away for 2 weeks here, 2 weeks there, a month here. Even coming up, I'll be gone for another 45 days.
We like that. You were in the military too.
I'm ex-military too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who?
Army.
All right, who?
Oh, both of y'all in the Army, huh? Oh, y'all tight.
So so when those times pop up, it's just I make the right choices and try to make the best choices that I can, and hope that the results are great. I try to think the best advice that I would ever even give anybody who's a single father is think about their future when you make that choice for them. It even goes down to before I yell at them, I think about their future. Before I discipline them, I think about their future, because every single thing that you do could be real pivotal because who they come. And I was a tough father. When I first had them little ones, I was super tough. I was the one I would hit you for blinking at me the wrong way, and it caused, of course, a lot of turmoil with their mom. But as I grow up and I mature, I realized that I was missing a lot of lessons that I could have taught them.
Come on.
That didn't necessarily take any type of physical abuse. They needed to have that conversation. They need to hear those words. And because of that, now today, I'm a better father. Don't get me wrong. I still swing every once in a while.
There it is. Somebody, you got to do what you got to do now.
Yeah, every once in a while. But, I just, the balance comes from making the mistakes. Like my guy Terry said, you got to make the mistakes. If without those, I couldn't be the father I am today.
That's what I'm talking about. And I'm glad you said that, because you said you had to go through this, that, and the other in order to be the father you are today. And again, I'm going to reiterate, that's why I want to have these conversations. Because if you give these, you telling Malachi this right now, or the young lady sitting in the audience, you telling them this right now, this is something that they could think about later on before you think to discipline and yeah, right. Let's find out why they did that. Let's talk to them first. Let's have that conversation. You find out if you actually told them in a way that they can comprehend that, hey, they shouldn't be doing this. Explain to them. Normalize conversations with these kids, especially in 2022. Sable. sorry, that's the wrong button.
you
Lord
go.
Jesus, the wrong button. God, I know. God, pray for me.
You know, it's no different than when you send your kid or a child out to do a task and they do it wrong, and you get angry and you think about the fact that, you know what, let me show them first. And when you show them, when you demonstrate, and then they mess up, then you can swing. But you got to show them first. You got to have some type of connection with your children, because it's a cold, cruel world they face out here today. Don't we all know?
Ooh.
We are living in absolute craziness where you do not get a do-over when your kids face this society or the police.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're putting in the work to raise them, you are saving their lives.
Mm-hmm.
I know everybody knows this. You are saving their lives.
That's it.
Let's
That's
not
it.
lose sight of that.
Sable, how you work-life balance? Sable, what?
Let me tell y'all, I go to school, and I have 2 jobs.
Woo!
I have a job in the morning that I go from 8 to 4:30, and then my job for overnight, I'm technically on call, but it's from 5 p.m. to 7 a.m. It's hard because sometimes I can come home, and when I say I'm like dead to the world, baby, my alarm clock won't even wake me up because I be gone. Hush up, Rhonda. But I have to do what I have to do. I have to, if you want your child to grow up and know that they can do and be whatever they want to be in the world, sometimes you got to make them sacrifices so that they could see you go through that, so they could look back and be like, well, my mama, my daddy, they did this when I was younger, so I know that I can do this too. Like, it shouldn't be nothing that can hold them back. But with that being said, your support system, they got to be strong too, because you got to have somebody that you can fall back on when you got to make these other appointments, go to work. You want to leave your child with somebody that is very responsible, who you know is not going to cause your child no harm or anything else. But, I mean, parenthood is hard. It's hard. I tell anybody that asks me, wait till you older, married. Don't be trying to have kids while you young or anything else, because it's hard. But when you do it, it's like, it's something that's very rewarding in the end.
That's one thing you said that unfortunately everybody don't have. You refer to a support system. Everybody does not have a support system. Some people out here by themselves, with So I mean that's a big deal. Dante, you don't have children, do you?
No, man.
So your work-life balance back in the day with your dad, how was he with that?
He didn't have no work-life balance. Everything came together. Listen to me. I was raised in a barbershop. You heard me? My dad owned a barbershop. You know what I'm saying? Every day, after school, I was at the barbershop. My entire summer, I sat in the barbershop every day. I wake up every morning with him, go sit in the barbershop, sweep the floor, make some money, go home. It'd be like we both went to work all day. You know what I'm saying? Because what else was he gonna do?
Right.
I mean, it was just me. My sister, 10 years older than me, she was out the house. So, I mean, we just thugged it out, man. But I tell you, that was beneficial because a lot of y'all probably do know, the black barbershop is a form of therapy all in its own. I mean, I learned so much being around the mature men, you know what I'm saying? I learned a lot about how to be an effective black man from that barbershop. So, I mean, there was work-life balance for him. I was incorporated in nearly every aspect of his life. He cut hair, and on the weekends he DJ jobs, and guess where I was? Right there with him, DJing them jobs on the weekends. You know what I'm saying? At 12, 13 in clubs, DJing with them. You know what I'm saying? You might say that's wrong, but look here, it taught me that if I want to make money, I gotta work. Yep. And that's how I live today. You know what I'm saying? So
gotta do what you gotta do. He was a hustler, positive hustler. He was just out here
straight up
handling
straight
business.
Up, look here. Yes, he did.
Shoot, Corey. You do it full time, man. Come on, tell us, Corey. You've been waiting. I see you were scratching your neck back there.
Hey, I've been sitting back listening to everybody. I'ma say it's not like now, but for a small period of time. That check it out. I used to be like I was 350 plus pounds like before I had my son. So I've been working on that a lot. Now I'm 220 solid. But in order for me to do that. It's done been like she said, a strong support system. My mom, I work at a factory, putting in 12, sometimes 14 hours a day. Them just looking like 70-hour weeks, 80-hour weeks. Um, but to wake up at 3:30 in the morning, hit a small workout, have to have drop my son off at my mom's by 4 o'clock, be at work at 5 o'clock, get off at 3:30, get my son. He don't take no nap because he already took one at daycare. Now I'm damn near an autopilot because my body's so tired. I've been throwing 100 and 200-pound rims all day. Got to take him to the park. We at the park from 3:30 to 5. I'm trying to wear him out so he can take a nap. Hopefully I can get one. Man still don't sleep. Now we looking at 6:30. I got to feed him. I got to feed myself. We both got to eat. He still got to get a bath. Now it's 8:30. I'm throwing him in the bathtub. Scrub him up. Throw his little jammies on. Before I know it, now I'm in autopilot. 9 o'clock, we going to sleep. Do it all over again. Wake up at 3:30. When you don't have somebody else, it is full time, people. Please understand that. Full time. You don't get to sleep. You will be sleep deprived. But it will be so rewarding. Like, I've reflected and found like so much peace in doing all this. Like the whole parenthood process, I've found so much I didn't know about myself. Like, as people, once you have children, the responsibility is of you to take care of this child. You gotta understand, the man can't feed himself. He can't put his clothes on. Like, until all of this, you have to teach your child all of these things. And if you're not mentally prepared, you gotta play the long game. Like you said, every day you gotta think about the future. It's longevity. It's hard work, but it's so rewarding. Every time, like, I wake up, I drop him off at daycare, he smiles, I give him a kiss, he's still asleep. But when I pick him up and he runs to that door and he's, daddy, 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 bro, can't nobody pay me. Like, there's no price that you can pay me for me to accept that over his smile and running to say that shit. Like, you can't.
Can I ask a question?
Hey, you gotta dig deep.
Go ahead.
When, after all the things that we've said and expressed, doesn't it kind of make you wonder about the people that don't do this, that walk away from this responsibility and joy? I kind of wonder what goes to their heads, because, you know, when it comes down to it, I love my kids and nothing can change that. So it just kind of makes you wonder what's going on out there. And that's why I mentor young women and young men, and it's given me a great deal of joy. So these stories that we're all sharing, make sure that you spread that to our community, because it's necessary. Because being a single parent shouldn't necessarily be something that everybody wants to do. You should always be in a situation where we can have, if not a relationship, but a good co-parenting situation. So I just want everybody to kind of keep that in mind moving forward, because this is supposed to serve a purpose.
Amen.
You know, I can actually
go ahead, Dante. I'm listening, baby.
I can answer that a little bit because I've actually had conversation with that other side of that coin you just mentioned, to the people who've walked away. I mean, I got 3 clients right now who part of their trauma is that it haunts them, my man. It does, no matter what the situation was, whether it's voluntarily or involuntarily. It haunts them because that's a part of their life that was taken from them. Whether they gave it up willingly, it's no longer there. It's a piece of them that are gone. Like, you don't just have a child and then 2 days later forget about it. It's something that follows you, constantly revisits your mind.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? And it's hard for people to process that. Some people they just have to do it. And they have to work with getting over that, or trying to figure out how to cope with that again, whether voluntarily or involuntarily. I've talked to people who have willingly gave their children up. It affects them years later. I've talked to people who had their children taken away from them. It affects them years later. It's not something that they give up. I mean, they are aware that they're missing key parts of a thing that they created. They're well aware of that. So I don't take it lightly. And no matter what the situation is, nobody plans on, not being the best parent, not being the best thing. Life just happens, my man. And it's unfortunate. But the good thing is that other parent is able to step up, and oftentimes do step up and fill that gap in the role, as best they can. But it's crazy, man, because I had that same question as a child. I'm like, how can this person just be going on with their life and knowing that they got 4 kids out here and doing nothing about it? Until I got older and I did have that conversation with her, it ate her up. It sent her, and I don't want to tell too much of her business, but it sent her more down that road that she was going on that led to us not being in her life period. It's a way to cope. She put herself in a worse position because she was trying to cope with the mistake, because it's a failure. Because you're going to constantly, she was constantly judged because everybody knew she had kids. And she was constantly dealing with the guilt and the shame of not having those kids. So, since she was constantly spiraling, trying to cope with, the big thing. It's always the elephant in the room, because people know people have kids and people know when them kids ain't around. You know what I'm saying? So it's not easy. It's not easy for them to deal with. And I speak that from both clinically and from experience.
I appreciate that insight.
Awesome sauce. Man, y'all so tight.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Corey. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, look, as a first time parent, like I said, I was 26 when we had a chance. I was doing shit I had no business doing. Like, regardless, I was going nowhere fast. Like, my only responsibility was myself. Therefore, drinking played a big part in my life. Partying, the single, non-responsible lifestyle that a lot of people live when they have these kids. And when I had my son, becoming a single parent there while he was real young, I'm talking like under a year old, like, you have all of those emotions. Am I good enough? Am I going to be able to do this? Down to, is my child better off without me? Can somebody else do this job better than I can? Am I really am I going to mess this child up? And a lot of that was me dealing with not having a present father figure, but it was also like, it's a big, having the responsibility of another life is a big challenge, and it's like, it messes with morality, like it does. And this is just from experience. Like, you get all of those emotions, and it's hard. Like, you have to know who you are, and like, bro, it's not easy. There is no book. There's no manual out
Come
here.
on.
You're not doing good enough. You will feel like you'll look at other people raising their kids, and why come my son isn't meeting those milestones? Am I not putting in the work? Am I not doing these? There's so many things, but you can't look at how you raise your child and reflect or base that on any other child. Every single child is different. And bro, you just gotta love these kids. You gotta love these kids more than you love yourself. Like, you gotta be able to deep down harness that monster. Like, hey, I don't give a fuck what I done been through. This little boy is gonna have everything he ever wants, and that's why I can go to work. And I'll all right, you can't balance it, and I'm sorry but I disagree with that. You gotta learn how to juggle. You gotta juggle this shit. Like, to balance it means there's some kind of symmetry to this. Like, you don't know what's going to go on every day. It's something new every single day. Like, life just throws them curveballs at you, and you got to learn how to juggle, and you got to put that child first, and you just got to do it. And hopefully, shit, in 18 years, it pays off. But I know one thing. He going to know I love him, and I tried my hardest. But it's hard. But no, don't give up on these kids. And just to speak a little bit about that, like he said, any person who has a child, it's never the first thought that they want to abandon that child. I honestly don't believe that. They would do everything that they can, if they could, to be present in that child's life. But at times, if the best option is to walk away, then it happens, and it happens more often than not because of mental unpreparedness or because of
circumstances.
Yeah, like, you got to be ready, and you got to be ready to play the long game, because you can't have a child and want a child for 6 months, and you can't just have a baby because he's gonna grow up. Like, you gotta.
I got you.
Corey.
Corey, Mr. Terrell wants you.
Corey.
Yeah.
It doesn't end at 18.
Not at all.
I'm 58.
Oh no, it doesn't end at 18. I'm
uh,
just hoping that by then the work that you put in, hey, you can let off the gas a little bit, buddy.
Man,
I
you ain't
know
never
it don't
letting
end
off the
at
gas.
18.
I got daughters in their 30s, and they still calling, borrowing money, and getting insight and advice. I'm
Hey,
having
I
a little
go to
fun with it, but I'm just letting you know.
We can still in the fridge.
Hey, listen,
I'm
you ain't letting off the gas. My mom ain't letting off the gas. I'm calling my mom. I don't care what you talk. I just left my retainers. I said, Mom, I need my retainers. Shoot.
Hey, tell you shit. I'm calling my Aunt Colleen. Answer.
I know that's right. You better call her. But look here, man. When I say I appreciate every last one of y'all for being on this episode, speaking knowledge, speaking to the people, because you got to give the people what they want. Malachi, give me a good people, good people.
Good people, good people.
He already know. Terrell, give me good people, good people.
Good people, good people.
And time.
Good people, good people.
Say Mom.
Good people, good people.
Good people, good people.
Shut up.
Corey, talk to me.
Hey, I want to thank
Man,
everybody.
I said, give me a good people, good people. Where you gonna mess up my rotation?
Good people, God damn it. Good people, good people.
Dante, go ahead, man.
Good people, good people.
Now I'm gonna give y'all good people, good people. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Angels Online. And every episode, if you want to reach out to any of these people that's on this panel, you can hit me up at info@theangelsonline.org. You can go to @angelsonline on Instagram and Facebook, YouTube, The Angels Online LLC. Tap in, tune in, because you got to give the people what they want. Thank you. We out. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to The Angels Online, Voice of the Unheard. Please stay tuned for the next episode next Wednesday, each and every Wednesday, and hopefully we motivate, influence, and inspire you. You are someone's angel. Remember, all voices matter. Peace and love from The Angels Online, Voice of the Unheard.
Go people, go people.